Alright guys, hi guys. So, today we're going to discover an interesting topic. It's called trigonometry. Basically, it is the study of triangles. I mean this shape. And I'm going to show you what trigonometry does. So, we all know a right triangle. A triangle whose angle is 90 degrees, obviously. Well, for trigonometry, the first step to do is name all the sides. The long side is the hypotenuse. The side is called the opposite to this angle. And the adjacent is the bottom one. And guys, I know you might have heard sine, cosine, and tangent. But what if I told you you actually don't even know what it means? I'm going to explain to you exactly what it means. So first, if you want to know what sine equals, the formula for it is actually the opposite. Wait, I gotta get more room. So the sine equals the opposite over the hypotenuse. So if we have an opposite of 1 and a hypotenuse of 3, the sine will be 1 over 3. And that's basically the formula for sine. Opposite over hypotenuse, or divided by hypotenuse. Now cosine is different. The cosine formula equals adjacent side over the hypotenuse side. So if we have an adjacent of 3 and a hypotenuse of 5, the cosine will be 3 over 5. We'll go through more examples with these later. And finally, we have the tangent. The tangent is the formula for it. It equals the opposite over the adjacent. So if we have an opposite of 3 and adjacent of 5, again, the formula will be 3 over 5 for tangent. And guys, that's all of them. But what if I told you there's actually a trick to remember all of this? It's called SOHCAHTOA. And I know it might sound kind of weird for a second, but it actually makes sense. So to remember your sine, cosines, and tangent, look at the S. That stands for sine. So sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. That's where the OH came from. And cosine is the ka, and it equals adjacent over hypotenuse, which is where the ah sound came from. And the tangent, you guessed it, equals opposite over adjacent. And this is an easy way to remember all of your sine, cosines, and tangents. This is actually very simple. The teacher might have just explained it complicated. Well, guys, what if I told you there's another way to represent triangles or trigonometry? It's called the unit circle. The unit circle is just a circle, but its radius or distance from the center is 1 unit. That's why it's called unit circle, because the radius is 1 unit. Isn't that so easy? Well, anyways, guys. So, what this has to do with triangles is, if we bring the radius up to any angle, which we call theta, and this imaginary horizontal distance is equal to sine, and I'm explaining to you why. It might seem so random at first, and the horizontal distance is cosine, but I'm explaining to you why. Well, remember SOHCAHTOA. Sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. And remember, the hypotenuse is always 1 unit. or the radius. And remember, opposite over 1 or anything over 1 is just itself. So sine equals opposite. So that's why the horizontal distance is sine, and cosine is the horizontal distance. And remember, guys, cosine is the horizontal distance is because back to SOHCAHTOA, cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse. This keeps happening. Adjacent over hypotenuse. And remember, the hypotenuse is always 1 unit in the unit circle no matter what. So cosine is actually just the adjacent side. So that's why sine is the horizontal distance and cosine is the what? No, it was opposite. Cosine is the horizontal and sine is the up. So remember that. And what if I told you there's another way? There's another way we could represent sine and cosine. And it's with waves. You might not believe me. This is so random again. I know trigonometry is kind of confusing, but I'm explaining to you how. Back to the unit circle with our radius as 1. That's not important, but I'm just saying. Well, if we have our x and y axis again, x and y axis, and we bring this up, the radius up to a single point, the horizontal distance is sine, remember? And no, I keep getting it mixed up. The horizontal distance is cosine, and the vertical distance is sine. Okay, let's get a wave graph. This is how a wave graph looks. So this is actually pi. This is 2 pi. This is like 3 pi, 4 pi, and 5 pi. Pi is here because we're talking about circle. Pi is always in circles. Remember. Basic 7th grade or 6th grade math. Okay, guys. The reason sine is associated with waves and cosine is because let's bring the triangle all around here. So if this was at angle 120, this would be the triangle. If it was at 180, it would be flat. If it was at 270, it would be here. Let's make a full rotation. Well, the sign changes, it actually creates a wave. So if it's at 270 degrees, it'll be exactly here. And you guys may not know, but if we bring the radius all over the circle, right? A full rotation, 2 pi. Actually, sine forms a wave. So if we move it across the unit circle, it creates this cool wave. And this is called the sine wave. And the cosine creates a different wave, like this. Wait, let me choose a different color. So guys, basically, if you move the triangle across the unit circle, it'll create a cool wave. And otherwise, cosine will create a cool wave like this. And that's kind of trigonometry, isn't it so easy? And the tangent, remember, you might not remember this, but tangent is actually just a line that touches a curve. So it actually just, the tangent will be like, wait 1 second. The tangent will just be in green and it'll be like this. It's just straight lines. Like this. I know this looks messy, but it's actually just, it's called wave exploration. So if we bring the radius to all around the circle, it'll create a wave. And guys, there's more to cover about trigonometry, including secant, cosecant, and cotangent, and all this. And we'll try to go through that right now. And then next video, I'll create my own topic about waves. So guys, a secant, if we bring back our unit circle, or just a regular circle, a secant is a line that intersects a circle. Just like tangent, it intersects at one point, or right here. Secant intersects at 2 points. So the secant formula, actually, the secant formula, I think it's, so guys, by the way, the secant formula is h divided by hypotenuse. Just like the other one, sine equals opposite over hypotenuse, secant equals hypotenuse over opposite. So it's like two different things. Don't get mixed up on them. Just like SOHCAHTOA is for sine, SHO, CHA, TOA, I think. I'm not good with the secant stuff. Anyways, guys, I hope you really understand the trigonometry video for anyone who's stuck. And I hope anyone understands. See you next time with a new video releasing soon. Bye, guys. Bye.